They have played 3 times in the last 3 years. All have been close. Here, denied a yard short of the goal. Then, in 2013, the next year, similar result. D'Angelo Williams with the fumble inside the 10. Seattle recovers, game over. They win it by 5. And then this year, same deal. Seattle gets a late touchdown to Luke Wilson, and they eke it out a combined 13 points in 3 victories for the Seahawks here. Moments ago, Cam Newton watching the Seahawks take the field. How about that shot?
Kevin, we had the chance to meet with Cam Newton yesterday. I saw a quarterback that was poised. He showed maturity in his responses. He's ready to play.
Ron Rivera coming off his first playoff win, and this team is a different team the last 5 games. They are running the ball with authority, and they are turning the other teams over. That has been the key.
Now the challenge is to do it against the Seattle Seahawks, the defending Super Bowl champs. It's a monumental task. Carolina's a confident team, though.
Spanish language broadcast available on both Fox Deportes and by utilizing SAP on our broadcast here tonight. Glad to have you along. This place is rocking and rolling. Little light rain, 46 degrees, winds are calm. It is a Seattle day for football. And Carolina won the toss. And they will receive. Hauschka will kick it off to Brenton Person. And here we go. Instead, it's going to be Whitaker who's going to take it 5 yards deep, and he'll take a knee. And the Panthers will have it first on their own 20. And here comes Cam Newton, who has been red hot last 4 games, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But he hasn't been able to perform against the Seahawks in his career.
And the Seahawks make it tough on each and every quarterback. There's been a lot of field goals in these games, Kevin. Cam Newton said the key to this game, when they get in that red zone, touchdowns, not field goals.
The other thing for Carolina, riding the red hot running of Jonathan Stewart. Newton's going to throw it. In trouble, dumps it off to Stewart. And he's got a good block out on the near side. Fumbles, and it goes backwards, but out of bounds. So Carolina will retain possession. It's going to all told be about a gain of 4.
Jonathan Stewart just found out what many running backs in this league. Seattle goes after the football. KJ Wright faces him up, and here comes Earl Thomas, the great safety, attacking the football. Carolina very fortunate that it went out of bounds.
And so it'll be a 2nd down and 6. And they give it to Stewart on the draw. Patient running, but Stewart fighting forward. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. Well, the Seahawks, another year where they were simply fantastic. I think when you're first and everything, John, that says you're pretty good.
Yeah, they're really good, and they're doing it for the 2nd straight year. Speed is what defines this defense to me. They have speed all over the field. They attack the football, and they play with an edge to them.
Be a 3rd down and a long one. Four-man rush. Newton stands in, up in the air, kicked, and it falls harmlessly to the ground. That was dangerous. It was off of Jericho Cotchery. And what it is a 3-and-out.
Well, Carolina had exactly what they wanted, a 3rd and manageable. Cam Newton throws a relatively accurate ball. That's a ball that Jericho Cotchery has to catch. Seattle's propensity for hitting wide receivers, I'm sure, has Jericho Cotchery aware that he is going to get hit, and they're lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Back to receive is Brian Walters. Brad Nortman will punt it. He's had 2 blocks this year. And the most return yards allowed in the NFL. They'll get this one off. It's a wobbler. Walters, fair catch, and the Seahawks a pretty good field position to start it off on their own 36-yard line. And so we will see Russell Wilson for the first time here in the divisional playoffs. Wilson in his 3rd year out of Wisconsin. All he's done is go 24-2, including the playoffs here at home.
It really is unreal, Kevin. He's taken on the best of the best in this league, and he's taken them all down. He's a phenomenal quarterback, and he turns his game up here in Seattle.
And so the defending Super Bowl champs go on offense with Marshawn Lynch. The single back, they go 2 tight ends to start it off. Looking to throw it. They're going to set it up on the far side. And they get a good looking play to Baldwin, who's got himself a first down. A quick hitter to Doug Baldwin, and the Seahawks pick up a first down in a gain of 11.
Well, Doug Baldwin, you don't see many people outrun this Carolina defense. You see the pursuit coming, but north and south getting positive yards. Tremendous start for the Seattle Seahawks offense.
So a gain of 11 on first down for the Seahawks. Wilson going to throw it. He's got a man wide open. It's Wilson, the tight end, and fighting off Panthers, and he's going to be out of bounds at the 45.
There's Max Unger, Kevin, and I think it's pretty powerful when they're a touchdown better with Max Unger in the lineup. He's returning from an injury. We'll show you the numbers later, but I think this might even be bigger, and it's for Carolina. A huge loss. Star Lotulelei, a huge force in the middle, and he played great in Week 8 against the Seattle Seahawks. That's a huge loss for the Carolina Panthers.
Out of 2nd and 2, they give it to Marshawn Lynch. Right up the middle, and tough sled in there. Maybe a half yard. Against this Panthers defense, they really played great the last 5 weeks of the season. They're physical, they're tough to run against, and they held the Cardinals to a playoff record 78 yards in the wild card round.
And it was an impressive effort. And the thing that just jumps off the screen when you watch the Carolina Panthers, number 59 and number 58, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, they are all over the football field.
On 3rd and less than 4, Seattle is 75%. That's number 1 in the league. Give the run. Lynch tripped up initially, and he is not going to get it. What a job. K'Wan Short got there first, and then they stacked him up, and now a 4th and short.
That's one thing I've been impressed with the Carolina defense, with Star Lotulelei, and now without him. Their interior play, they have dominated the line of scrimmage. Penetration by K'Wan Short, and then here comes the rest of the posse. That's great defense against a real tough running back in Marshawn Lynch to stop on a 3rd and 1.
And Seattle will punt. That's quite a stand by Carolina after a good start for the Seahawks. John Ryan will punt it away to Brenton Burson, who fumbled one last week. And a fair catch right at the 11, and that's where the Panthers will take over. Cam Newton went 3 and out the first time. You know it's going to be tough against the Legion of Boom in this Seattle defense. We are scoreless early from Seattle. Divisional playoffs on Fox.
Game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
And so the second possession for Carolina, scoreless in the first quarter in Seattle. And Bobby Wagner, John, has been huge since coming back to the lineup.
Well, if you like linebacker play, and great linebacker play, this is the game for you. We've already showed you Kuechly and Thomas Davis. Bobby Wagner, so critical to this Seattle defense.
On that zone read, they're going to give it to Stewart, who is battling Wagner right here, and he gets out to the 15. So he's going to get 4 yards. Stewart's been really the key to this whole Carolina resurgence, I think, John. I mean, he's always had injury problems, but he's been healthy and running well.
Well, you know, and I think they kind of fell into it, Kevin, because D'Angelo Williams was injured, as was Mike Tolbert. So they had to rely on Jonathan Stewart, and I think it's been a great thing for him. They're at their best when he's their lead dog.
On 2nd and 6, they're going to give up the middle. Cam's going to keep this one, and the Seahawks swarming to him, but Cam has a nice little gain. He's out to the 19, and that'll bring him a 3rd down and 2.
We mentioned Bobby Wagner just a second ago. We asked Bobby Wagner, what's the biggest difference in this Carolina team? He said in critical situations now, Cam Newton's running the football. A lot of that has to do with Cam's health. He was injured early in the season, the ankle, his back with the car accident. Now they're cutting him loose, and it's paid great dividends for the Carolina Panthers offense.
3rd down and 2. Blitz coming. Newton gets out of 1 sack, throws it away, and gets it out of bounds. I don't know how he got out of that one. but tremendous pressure coming from Seattle. And again, the Panthers go 3 and out. It was Abel's first.
I spoke of the speed earlier. Nobody has a better get-off in this league than Cliff Averill, and Cam Newton just got introduced to Cliff Averill, and here comes KJ Wright. They play with a tremendous amount of speed, and it's even accelerated when they play in front of the 12th man here in Seattle.
And so just by Newton getting it out of bounds, at least it saves them about 10 yards, and they'll punt with Nortman. He set franchise records last year with a 42-yard net, just 36 this year. And great field position for Seattle as Walters calls the fair catch. Well, you kind of knew that defense would be a big factor in this game, and so far the Seahawks, we get a late flag. So far the Seahawks flying around the football with Sherman and Irvin and Averill who made that play there. This flag was late and on the other side of the field from the fair catch. Let's see, we see it.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Receiving team number 20. 15-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Now it's on Jeremy Lane. You can see what that was called, and so that'll move Seattle back 15 yards. But Russell Wilson gets it for a second time. 9:42 to go in the first, and we're scoreless. The Space Needle in Seattle. What a gorgeous town if you've never been here. And they do have a 12th man flag on top of it that I believe Eddie Vedder helped raise the other day. This town is all about the Seahawks. That's for sure. They get it for the second time here tonight in the first quarter. And we're scoreless. Give it to Lynch. And Marshawn meets Luke Kuechly. That's going to be fun to watch today, and a short gain of about 1.5.
You know, Kevin, we get into the postseason, and everybody wants to focus on the skill players. But games are won and lost up front. And what Carolina has done an excellent job of the last 3 times against the Seattle Seahawks is controlling that line of scrimmage. And Seattle is so accustomed to pushing people off the line of scrimmage, it hasn't happened. And Luke Kuechly's a big part of that for Carolina.
So 2nd and 8. Wilson, pressure coming off his back foot, looking for help at the tight end, and he overthrew him. He had pressure right in his face and had to get rid of that. Charles Johnson has played great the last 8 weeks, coming in to force the throw.
Well, Charles Johnson and Dene Benwickery. Thank you, Terry Bradshaw, for the assist on that. I was working all night on that pronunciation. But Benwickery is one of the young parts of this secondary. They replaced some players, 3/4 of their secondary, with young guys, including Benwickery, Trey Boston, and Josh Norman, and it's made a huge difference.
And we get a flag, and this one's going to be on Seattle.
False start, offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, third down.
It's on J.R. Sweezy. He's the right guard, and that is Terry McCauley, who is our referee today. He has done 3 Super Bowls in his career. And again, if you're watching the playoffs, you're familiar with the narrative, especially after that Dallas game last week, that none of this crew has worked together. It's a bunch of guys who all performed well, and so introductions before the game, and guess what? You're in the divisional round. 3rd and 13, Seahawks. Give it to Lynch, left side, and still fighting, but well short of a first down. And so 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out so far.
Well, I think 2 things bode well for the Carolina defense right now from what I'm seeing. As I mentioned, they're controlling the line of scrimmage. They aren't getting pushed back, and then they're tackling extremely well. We see Marshawn Lynch make such a living out of breaking tackle after tackle. They're getting him down, and that's tough to do.
So again, Ryan will punt it away. He only had 17 punts returned this year, fewest in the league, because his hang time usually so good. This one is returnable. Burson has trouble again, and now we get a late flag coming in from back of the play.
And I think they're going to get Burson for an illegal fair catch. He flashed it late, and it was not obvious. I believe that's what it's going to be.
It's a 45-yard punt, no return. He had the same issues.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 37. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
So Carrington bind him. And here is the penalty on Lane. But it is Panthers football, scoreless in the first.
Well, 2 things to look. Here's what I was speaking. This is slow motion, but it was a quick wave. But I think more importantly, Burson fumbled one last week. Look at the ball security. He is not comfortable back there as a punt return. If I'm Ron Rivera, I'm making a change. The ball is too valuable to have someone back there who's struggling to catch it.
And the Panthers backed up again on their own 13 to start their third possession. And with zone read, Newton's going to keep, and Wagner all over him after he picks up 3. Not a great start offensively. They did have a drop by Cotchery, but then Seattle just playing so fast. John, the Seahawks defense hasn't allowed a touchdown in 10 quarters.
Playing some historically good football. I mean, it's been incredible, and they've done it all while having lost Brandon Mebane, I thought one of their better players on defense.
2nd and 7. Near side, it's Benjamin, the rookie, who makes the catch and hangs on, but he is tackled immediately by Thorold Simon, and again, it'll be a 3rd down coming up.
It's such a signature of this Seattle defense that you may catch the ball some, but if you do, here they come, and they're going to come quickly, and when they do, they're great tacklers. They talked about tackling being the key to this game. Both teams thus far have done a tremendous job of doing that.
Carolina was decent on the year on 3rd down at 42%, 12th in the league, and a lot of that behind the legs of Cam Newton. 3rd and 4. Newton steps, has time, unleashes a bomb deep down the field, and it is intercepted by Richard Sherman. He was looking for Philly Brown, but it's tough to get it over Sherman.
Well, one thing that Cam Newton's shown, he's not afraid of throwing at Richard Sherman, and he just paid for not being afraid. Richard Sherman attacks the ball, high points it. Seattle football on a great play by Richard Sherman.
Well, Richard Sherman had 4 interceptions the last 9 games of the regular season, and essentially, though, even though it's a pick, it's a 44-yard punt by Carolina. That's what it was.
Absolutely. And Philly Brown's the guy that has come in and injected some speed into this Carolina offense. Cam Newton, that's one thing on that deep ball. He struggled to connect, but like you said, Kevin, it's a real good punt, really.
Yeah, and he took shots at Sherman in week 8, and obviously not afraid to do it again. So, Seahawks football. And they're going to sling it out, and it's dropped by Robert Turbin, who is in the game for Lynch.
And that look right there with both halfbacks in, Turbin and Marshawn Lynch, is a look we've been seeing more of, and I think it's because they like what they see in Robert Turbin so much. He's a fast, big back who's really been productive when he's been out there, so we've seen more of the 2 halfbacks together.
There's a game earlier this year against the Rams, too, where their fullback, Derek Coleman, got hurt in warm-ups, and they went up to Turbin and said, hey, you want to play fullback? And so he did. And Marshawn Lynch, meanwhile, is going to come out as the wide receiver. Bottom of your screen. A 2nd down, and guess what? They throw it to him. Lynch is in trouble and taken down immediately. It's Colin Jones, 4th-year man of TCU, who played great last week against Arizona.
Well, here's one of these young guys. He's not in the starting lineup, but he's made a huge difference. He's been playing the nickelback position. One of the fastest players on this defense and a great tackler. They've inserted him in. It's created a better secondary, a tighter secondary. Moves like that by Ron Rivera that were gutsy have paid great dividends for this defense.
And after a 2-yard loss, it's a 3rd down and 12. 4-man rush. Time. Wilson still looking. Gonna loft it for Curse. Wide open, and he makes the catch down at the 31. Plenty of time for Russell Wilson, and he connects to Curse, and it's a pickup of 34.
Well, I think Russell Wilson is as good as anybody in this league. Probably Aaron Rodgers and he the best at extending plays and then keeping their eyes downfield and finding those receivers. You see the eyes always searching for the receiver. Jermaine Kearse has become so versed in finding the open space. He goes up. Beautiful catch by Kearse, but Russell Wilson at his best extending plays.
They get Kearse back at a hamstring injury. The fumble on the play. Wilson dives, and I think he got it back. It's amazing. That's the 12th time that Russell Wilson has fumbled this year, and Seattle's gotten all of them back.
Remember, he's played a lot of football with Max Unger, but there have been 4 centers that have played. And the quarterback-center exchange looks like a real easy thing, but it's something that takes reps. And when you've come from one center to the next, we often see that happen.
Unger's back. He had missed 10 games this year. He missed 6 straight with a high ankle and then 4 games early in the year with a foot. But he is a tremendous player, went in there. And now it's 2nd and 12. They go 5 wide here. 4-man rush, and Wilson just kind of stuck to his hand a little bit. He was looking, I believe, for Doug Baldwin over the middle, and now 3rd and long. We'll stick him on that.
It was raining prior to the game. No more rain. Russell Wilson, short in stature, but has absolutely enormous hands. He's trying to hold on to that football. Just an incomplete pass. That's what these linebackers in the middle, they're so quick and so instinctive, are Kuechly and Thomas Davis, that they can make quarterbacks reload often.
Seahawks need to get to the 21 for a first down. Panthers show blitz. They come with 4. Coming near side here, and it's Lockett, but again met immediately by Ben Wickery. This Panthers defense is tackling well, but what it does do is get the Seahawks a field goal opportunity.
But that's what this game's all about. You got to be a good tackler, and cornerbacks that are great tacklers are rare. Ben Wickery is one of them.
You get a flag too after the play,
which is huge, because if this is on the Seahawks, you talked about that field goal range.
After play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 83, taunting. 15-yard penalty, the down counts, 4th down.
Well, you know, Lockett, that's on Lockett, who made that catch. He's had that issue. He got kicked out of a game earlier this year, and that's a killer penalty. They go from a field goal try to a punt.
Well, he's a guy they really like, but he's had it. There it is, throwing the football up at Ben Wickery. And that may not look like much, but that's a rule in the NFL right now. You do that, not a smart play. The emotions of playoff football and being able to handle them are so key in this game. Took him out of field goal position. A selfish play by Ricardo Lockett.
And now you have to watch Burson, who really struggled last week catching punts and dropped one before. Ryan. Gets this one cleanly, and again the Panthers way back deep. Scoreless game, 4:20 to go in the first. Trade to end the regular season, and their defense was off the hook. They allowed 39 total points, John, as they got back to the Super Bowl form.
They've been stifling. Now, they haven't done it against the best of quarterbacks, but I don't care. You're playing that kind of football in this league. And remember, Kevin, it coincided with Bobby Wagner coming into this lineup, and that number is ridiculous. 45-0 in the 4th quarter. The Seahawks looking like a team who's poised and ready to defend their Super Bowl championship.
So obviously offense has been at a premium so far. There's only 2 first downs for Seattle in the game. Carolina's been backed up all day to start. That's Ed Dixon going in motion. They're going to give a carry up the middle. That is going to go for a couple. O'Brien Schofield was there first.
That's one thing about Jonathan Stewart. You know, there's backs in this league who gain what you block it for, and then there's backs who go ahead and carry people for extra yardage. Jonathan Stewart, that was a lost yardage play. He just gained 2 yards right there. Jonathan Stewart, a tough guy to bring down.
That's Ryan Carrillo, the 4-time Pro Bowl center. 2nd and 8. Cam throwing near side. Benjamin, the rookie, has the catch and then scurries upfield at about the 17. So again, you're looking at a makeable 3rd down. They've been in this position before after a 5-yard gain.
You know, Kevin, we saw the interception from Cam Newton to Richard Sherman, but that play right there, that bodes well for the Carolina Panthers because the accurate throw. Last week we saw him. He played well, but he missed a lot of open receivers. You can't do that against a defense with this much talent, with this much precision to it. You've got to play extremely precise.
Third and 4. Blitz coming. Newton going to shovel it off to Tolbert. And a first down and more for Tolbert and the Panthers. His helmet gets ripped off, but he's out to the 31. Good aware play by Newton in a 14-yard gain.
Well, one thing Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, said everyone talks about the things Cam doesn't do, his lack of mechanics, but there's things he does that no one else in this league can do. He's a tremendous talent at the quarterback position, and plays like that are so tough to defend and really just break a defense's back.
And so the first down for Carolina. They fake the zone read. Newton's going to sling it far side for Cotchery. Well overthrown. He had Irvin out there, the linebacker, on coverage.
And that's what I'm talking about, though. You see the good and you see the bad. You've got a favorable matchup right there. Jericho Cotchery on a linebacker, Bruce Irvin. You've got him wide open. Sherman goes inside. You hit that, that might be a touchdown. You cannot miss plays like that against the Seattle Seahawks defense.
2nd and 10. Stewart fumble, it's on the ground, and the Seahawks recover. Michael Bennett forced the fumble. Seattle football.
Well, this is the zone read play, and you see Jonathan Stewart, because who they're reading is Michael Bennett. Right here, Cam Newton's got to keep that ball. An excellent job by Michael Bennett attacking. Kind of put some indecision in Cam Newton's mind and then attack the football. The Seahawks do it so well. It's all about the ball is their mantra. They take it away as well as anyone under Pete Carroll. 4th in the league with a +10 turnover margin this season.
So it was Bennett who forced it. Tony McDaniel there to recover it. And the Seahawks get the big turnover. This is what they couldn't do earlier in the season, but they've done it the last 6 weeks, and here they are, 1st and 10. Wilson looks to throw it. Coming near side, he's got a completion. It's Baldwin. Doug Baldwin's got a 1st down, an 11-yard gain.
Doug Baldwin, I think, in my mind, one of the more underrated football players in this league. Russell Wilson will tell you the same thing. He calls him a 5-tool player. He's a guy who plays with the giant chip on his shoulder because he doesn't think he gets enough respect. I agree with him. A tremendous asset for the Seattle Seahawks offense.
They send trips to the left. Luke Wilson, the tight end, bottom of your screen. They're going to run it to Lynch, and Lynch just fights his way forward. Russell Wilson, we know what he's done in his career, winning games, but this, to me, is the most staggering thing I've seen. Red zone regular and postseason, 52 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
That's pretty good.
You think?
That's all I can say. But the one thing I will say, and I'll add to that, against Carolina, they've done a great job of keeping Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks out of the end zone. 1 touchdown in the last 9 red zone drives in the last 3 times they've played it.
From the 16. Wilson keeps, turns, and fires. That's dropped. He had the tight end, Cooper Helfet, there wide open, but he turned before he caught it.
See Heffel. See his eyes. Last second, he turns up the field before he catches it. And a missed opportunity for the Seattle Seahawks.
And that'll put them in a 3rd down and long. They're going to swing Marshawn Lynch as a receiver. Number 24 at the bottom of your screen. Play clock at 2. They get it off. Blitz coming. Wilson's just going to loft it towards the end zone. Touchdown! Doug Baldwin, and the Seahawks strike first.
Kevin, such a tremendous play. This is an all-out blitz. Russell Wilson sees the matchup he likes. Doug Baldwin on the safety, Trey Boston. He lofts it up, knowing there's no safety in the middle of the field, only the coverage on Doug Baldwin. Can't throw it any better. Tremendous execution, tremendous recognition by Russell Wilson.
It goes down as a 16-yard touchdown to Doug Baldwin. Extra point up and good. So they capitalize on the Jonathan Stewart fumble. And they make Carolina pay with a 4th-play, 28-yard drive. So what did Russell Wilson see on this particular play?
He saw Thomas Davis breathing down his neck. But this is what the great ones do. They have poise under pressure. You see him throw it up. He normally wouldn't do that, but he knows it's an all-out blitz. He only has one man to beat in Trey Boston. He liked that matchup. He found the right one to go to, and he threw a very catchable ball for Doug Baldwin.
And Carolina, tough because their defense has played great so far, but after the turnover and that on a third down, they can't deny Wilson and the Hawks. So Pete Carroll's a happy guy. You know, it's funny, every time we talk with Russell Wilson, he always brings up a basketball or a baseball analogy. He's so big on playing all the sports and how it helped him growing up. I mean, you tell me that wasn't an alley-oop pass right there?
Yeah, he talks about his middle infield pass and his sidearm angles. He talks about being a point guard like Tony Parker. It's really fun listening, but the neat thing with him, Kevin, some guys tell us that. You actually see it transpire on the field when he tells us something.
Meanwhile, for Baldwin, third career postseason touchdown catch. He had 3 during the regular season this year.
That's the formula for the Seattle Seahawks. It's all about the ball. They preach it, they live it, they take the ball away, and typically when you do that, good things happen. They put the touchdown on the board.
Whitaker is going to take it for the Panthers and take it on out. Bozzy Whitaker. Good burst across the 20, and that's where Carolina will take over. Have you seen Empire yet? Critics calling it the best kind of addicting TV. Clearly awesome and on fire. Terrence Howard and Taraji P. Henson star in Empire, an all-new Wednesday with limited commercial interruption. It's at 9/8 Central on Fox. How about Carolina's starting field position today, John? The 20, the 11, the 13, the 11, and now the 21.
There it is. Pete Carroll tries to come up with as many creative ways as he can. They have a day dedicated to turnovers. They call it Turnover Thursday. They're talking about it all the time, and it translates on the field.
On first down, Stewart reverses field, gets a block. Jonathan Stewart racing for a first down and then some. He's finally tripped off across the 35, but a 15-yard run by Stewart and a good block by Olsen.
And the great thing here, watch the patience early, and then when he sees it, the burst. That's what makes Jonathan Stewart so tough. Bobby Wagner said, at the same time, this is a guy that can run you over and make you miss. Those kind of backs, believe me, I lived it, they're tough to deal with.
Final seconds of the first quarter, and now we'll see if Carolina can answer. Newton's got it. 4-man rush. A lot of time. Going to throw it over the far side to Philly Brown. Separated his shoulder last week, but playing today and comes up with a catch at midfield and a first down. That's the end of the first quarter from Seattle. Hard fought first, but it's the Seahawks in front. 7-0. Seahawks defense has now gone 11 straight quarters without allowing a touchdown. Playing physical, playing fast, and now playing with a 7-0 lead as we start the second in Seattle. Well, the Panthers have a nice little drive going here, and they pick it up at midfield. Newton, quarterback run all the way, and a good one. And Cam Newton going to be a little shy of a first down, taken down at the 41.
And this is what we were talking about earlier of late. They've cut Cam Newton loose. This is a designed run. You see Jonathan Stewart out in front blocking on KJ Wright. A good job by KJ Wright fending off the block and then tackling Cam Newton. But positive yards for the Carolina Panthers, who, Kevin, are running the football well today. The problem's been third down in the conversions.
Here, just a 2nd and 1. 16 yards for Newton on the ground. He rushed for 539 during the regular season. Jericho Patry in motion. They're just going to give for a run, and that should be first down, even though it wasn't much. Let's see where the mark is. Looked to me like he had it. You know, for Jonathan Stewart, this says obviously a playoff game and special meaning for him. But you know what, John? He went to Timberline High School, which is 60 miles south of Seattle. He's the state's all-time leading high school rusher. And coming back home in front of family and friends here tonight.
He ended up with the Oregon Ducks for his collegiate career, but you know who wanted him really badly? Pete Carroll down at USC.
They go with Tolbert, though, the fullback on 3rd and short. Newton going to sneak, and he should have it. You know, John, I've deduced this. When you're 6'5", 250, you got a good chance to get 6 inches when you're a quarterback like Newton.
My goodness, Kevin. We've seen him so many times. We've covered the Carolina Panthers a lot. But every time he walks in a production meeting, I can't believe he plays the quarterback position. He looks like a defensive end. His stature, it's so impressive. The young man is a heck of a football player. It's really neat to have seen him mature into a tremendous leader as well.
It's a pretty good drive for Carolina. Their 6th play of it here so far. Started at their own 21. Here's D'Angelo Williams with his first carry. And Williams has a good-looking run. He's down to about the 33. 6-yard gain for Williams. And he's been injured. I mean, he had a broken hand November 30th. Came back last week. His first game back was a non-factor. All told this year, he's missed 10 games. Well, John, you hit it earlier. You said, hey, man, it'd be the best thing because they had to ride Jonathan Stewart. But here, Williams stays in.
And I think it's important for Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, to fight the urge. D'Angelo Williams is a heck of a football player. All-time leading rusher for the Panthers. Jonathan Stewart is on fire. Ride him. Utilize D'Angelo as a changeup.
2nd down and 4. Fake it to Williams. Almost intercepted. Sherman read it all the way. Jumped in front of Philly Brown, and it's incomplete.
Cam Newton in the production meeting. I told him, I said, week 8, you did not shy away from attacking Richard Sherman. He said, I'm not going to shy away from anyone. I've got faith in myself. I've got faith in my teammates. But Cam, you better be careful throwing at this man because in my mind, this is the best cornerback in football, and he will make you pay if you're not careful.
They're on the edge of field goal range right now. It's a 3rd and 4. Blitz is picked up. Newton, far sideline, and he's got a first down. Philly Brown with the catch. Tremendous blitz pickup by Carolina there.
Well, Philly Brown gutting it out with an injured shoulder has been so critical. You watch the protection up front. See the blitz come with KJ Wright. They max pro a 3-man route. And watch Philly Brown. And that's a veteran type of route for a rookie free agent from Ohio State.
You've had a separated shoulder. He got it last week and he's playing. What's he dealing with today?
That's tough. So long as he keeps it in the framework of his body, he's going to be all right. I played a whole season. He's going to have to be willing to have it pop out and go right back in the game.
A little counter play to Williams. Gets a good block from Greg Olsen at D'Angelo Williams inside the 15. And he's got 8.5 on the carry.
Well, Kevin, Carolina is running the football extremely well. They're going at about a 5 yards per carry clip right now. D'Angelo Williams, and you got to credit this offensive line. They really solidified this offensive line. You see Mike Rimmers, he started the last 5 games, and that was kind of the final piece of the puzzle. They've had continuity, stability, and they have 2 rookies playing at the guards, and Trey Turner and Andrew Norwell. That offensive line has been tremendous.
Jonathan Stewart's back in the game on 2nd and 2. Give it to him. And Stewart is hit immediately. Spot will be critical. I'm not sure if he got the first down or not. Well, this red zone, John, has really haunted Carolina, not only against Seattle, but on the year. This touchdown overall, not just the red zone the last 4 games, but in this area, they were bottom 5 of the league.
Didn't we just look at a graphic like that for Seattle on offense? So both defenses have been tremendous in this matchup.
3rd and 1. Tolbert, the fullback, and he plows forward for a first down. Got some big boys in this Carolina team, don't they?
I was just going to say, they list Mike Tolbert at 245, but if he's 245, that man is 260-plus pounds. He's a load at the fullback position who can run the football extremely well. They have a lot of options. Again, a great job by that Carolina offensive line, controlling the line of scrimmage.
John, this is some drive. It's now over 6 minutes. This is the 12th play of the drive after Seattle scored. Carolina trying to match from the 11. Coming near side. Stewart, patience, and just really nowhere to go. I mean, Seattle played it well. Wagner comes up with the tackle, but Irvin and everyone there made that nearly impossible.
Now, Jonathan Stewart is an extremely fast running back, but running sideways against this Seattle defense doesn't work. They're too fast. Look at Bruce Irvin doing a tremendous job setting the edge, then getting off the block, and here comes Bobby Wagner. His speed, they are too fast to run east and west. You got to hit it downhill.
Watch Kelvin Benjamin, the rookie, top of your screen. They like to go up top to him. Clock at 3. They get it off in a draw. Stewart sidesteps, coming near side, still going, and powers his way down inside the 7, where you'll see a 3rd down.
I think that's part of the growth of Cam Newton's game right there. There was a pass called. He audibled to that run because he saw a void in the middle of that defense. Positive yards, puts him in a manageable 3rd down situation. Here's when you want that 1st down. You got to be so aware of protecting that football if you're Cam Newton.
Play clock at 3. They get it off. Newton over the middle. Benjamin, touchdown. He didn't have much room to fire it in, but he did so, and the rookie has got Carolina on the board.
Well, first of all, Cam Newton looked outside. Byron Maxwell has not been in the game. We just got a report experiencing shortness of breath. So Thurl Simon, a backup cornerback. That's a matchup Cam Newton likes. And I said he had to be precise in today's game. That was a precise throw. Here comes Earl Thomas, but a bullet by Cam Newton right into the chest of Kelvin Benjamin for the touchdown.
You know, we'll put up the extra point and we're tied. That was a monster answer by Carolina. 14 plays, 79 yards, took 8 minutes and 12 seconds. We got ourselves a game in Seattle, all tied at 7.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by GMC. We are professional grade. By KFC, the world's best chicken. How do you KFC? And by T-Mobile, changing the game of wireless.
We're tied at 7 in Seattle. Kelvin Benjamin, a 7-yard touchdown catch from his quarterback Cam Newton. And I asked Cam yesterday when we met with him, John, how do you deal with this crowd in Seattle? Communication, all of it. And he said it's going to be hard for people to cheer if the opposing team is doing great. After that drive, they'll quiet down at least momentarily here.
That was an impressive drive. I mean, the final play was the play of the drive, but that was just a methodical, tough, hard drive for the Carolina offense. Tough to do against this Seattle defense.
A little squibber. That's going to be taken out by Richardson. And spins around. Still going across the 20. And Joe Webb, the quarterback, comes over and makes the tackle. And so the Seahawks have the football, but defense human that time. And we're all tied at 7. The 2015 NFL Pro Bowl is fantasy football for real. Hall of Famers Michael Irvin and Chris Carter will select the teams at the Pro Bowl draft on Wednesday, January 21st. Then watch the Pro Bowl live from University of Phoenix Stadium, home of the Super Bowl, on Sunday, January 25th. Go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl to learn more. Meanwhile, aerial coverage provided by Nationwide tonight.
Well, Michael Irvin and Chris Carter will have plenty to pick up on this field. There's 7 Pro Bowlers out here on the field for Seattle and Carolina.
7-7 game. Seahawks ball, and here's Lynch. Marshawn Lynch bouncing off folks across the 30 to the 31. And trying to get him going. He only had 10 yards on 5 carries until that.
Carolina defense had been doing a tremendous job of controlling that line of scrimmage, particularly in the middle, something that I thought was critical with the loss of star Lotulelei. They've done it well, but Marshawn, typically when you see him get going like that, they're going to stay committed. Good times or bad, they'll stay committed to the run, and that's one thing that makes them so good at that run game.
Lynch was 4th in the NFL in rushing yards, tied for 1st with 13 touchdowns. Get it again, and should have a 1st down. I think what people don't realize about Seattle this year, and we know their defense has been great, especially the last 6 weeks, but John, you know, their run game, believe it or not, 36 more rush yards per game this year than last year.
It's unbelievable. And, you know, it all starts from the top. And Pete Carroll, Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator, and Tom Cable, the offensive line coach, they all believe in the run. They stay committed to it. And they're very, very good at running the football.
Committed to it here, but Lynch hits for a short gain. Thomas Davis with the tackle.
Boy, you watch Thomas Davis play. Larry Fitzgerald, I thought it said it best. 58 and 59, he said after last week. Those guys are hellacious. They're everywhere. And that's what they are. They're omnipresent. They're all over the field. Kuechly and Thomas Davis in the middle. They compete against each other. It's a race to the football. Great football players in the heart of this Carolina defense.
On second down, Wilson pumps, throws over the middle, and Lynch is hit immediately by the other one. That's Kuechly. As you were saying, John?
These defenses, as good defenses often do, they remind you so much of each other. We talk about it with Seattle. You may catch it, but they're coming. Well, watch Luke Kuechly right here. Watch his eyes on Russell Wilson. He drops into the zone. Instinct. But here he comes, a great finisher. Hard to bring Marshawn Lynch down with the first guy, but not with Luke Kuechly. This guy's as good as it gets at middle linebacker.
And so third down and 7. Four-man rush. Now a late blitz. Wilson lofts it up for Kearse. What a catch! Jermaine Kearse on his way, diving! Touchdown! To Kearse.
The touch on that pass, Kevin, just ridiculous. You could not place it any better in Kearse's arms. Russell Wilson. We saw Carolina answer. Now Russell Wilson says, how about this answer? Jermaine Kearse, the local boy, with the explosive play from Russell Wilson. It's called a cross-country route. Coming across, that's good coverage by Ben Wickery. Kearse uses that left arm to fend him off, but you just can't place the ball any better. That is championship football by the Seattle Seahawks.
A little one-handed grab, and then the speed from Kearse took it all the way. And so now a Seattle answer with a big play up top to Kearse. And it's 14-0 Seahawks back in front. The extension from Kearse to finish it off.
Game is sponsored by Power Beats 2. Training is now wireless.
Jermaine Kearse had maybe the biggest play in the Seahawks season last year. Fourth quarter, fourth down against the 49ers. Russell Wilson gets drilled and fires a bullet. 35-yard touchdown to Kearse. It brought him to the Super Bowl. And now, after Carolina answers with a tremendous drive, they go up top 63 yards, a one-handed catch, and then a race to the end zone.
How about Kearse? Throws up in Lakewood, Washington, goes to University of Washington. Now he's here making huge touchdowns for the Seattle Seahawks.
Meanwhile, the kick return in Burson takes it to the outside, and he's dragged down across the 20 by Cam Chancellor.
Kevin, you look at this, some hand fighting going on. Kearse is going to extend that left arm, but Ben Wickery at the same time grabbing the arm. So I think a good no call, but just a tremendous effort and concentration. The one-hand catch by Kearse. Terry Bradshaw talked about it in the pregame. The explosive plays for the Seattle Seahawks. Early in the year, Kevin, they weren't throwing the football well. That bothered Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll as well. Pete Carroll, a happy man.
Ron Rivera told us yesterday, study the 3 games we've lost to them. We've given up a big play over the top. We haven't gotten one. And so the script holds for now. First down, Carolina. Now down by 7. Going to set up a screen to Williams. And Cam Chancellor comes in like a missile and hits him for no gain.
Kevin, this may be, last year it was Earl Thomas. I got a lot of favorite players. But this guy right there, Cam Chancellor, watch this play. He's so big, he's so fast. He's so intimidating. He's the tone setter for the Seattle defense. Just a huge presence in the middle of the field at the safety position. I like that kind of play.
You do? Would have never guessed. Second down and time to throw for Newton over the middle, looking for his tight end Olsen, but incomplete. And this is something that they need to get going, John. He only had one catch in their Week 8 game against them. But quite honestly, Olsen's been back blocking a lot here today.
And he's been so good, and that's a ball that Greg Olsen, who has tremendous hands, usually catches. He had 84 receptions on the year. Huge part of this offense. Remember, they got rid of their top 3 receivers from last year, and Steve Smith, LaFell, and Ted Ginn. Kelvin Benjamin, the rookie, but you need Olsen to be a big part of this passing game for the Carolina Panthers.
And now a third down and 10. Low snap. Pressure coming. Newton stands in and fires, and he's got a first down. It's Jericho Cotchery. A perfect pass by Newton, and it'll quiet the crowd for now.
I've been really impressed with this Carolina offense, with Cam Newton in particular. This is poise. Seattle just had a big play. Stay calm. Another strike by Cam Newton. We talked about the need for precision. Cam Newton has been on point thus far.
From the 34. Hangs in far side. He's got a completion and a first down. That's Brenton Burson getting in the mix. 13 catches during the year. First-year man from Wofford.
It's going to be interesting, Kevin. We saw on the touchdown to Benjamin, they went after Thurl Simon. Thurl Simon in from Byron Maxwell, who's out with the shortness of breath. Interesting to see if Cam Newton picks Thurl Simon out and starts working on him.
First and 10. Give to Stewart. Dances up the middle for a gain of about 4. You mentioned Maxwell. Let's go down to the sidelines with Pam Oliver. Hang on.
Yeah, Byron Maxwell, Kevin, he experienced that shortness of breath, and he is still on the sidelines. I checked with the Seahawks to update that report, and they said Maxwell is available if necessary.
15-yard penalty.
Pam, thank you very much.
Automatic first down.
As was sending it down to Pam, they threw the flag, and let's look at it. Oh, yeah, that's pretty clear.
Yeah, it's Tony McDaniel who gets all of Jonathan Stewart's face mask, tears his helmet off. Good job by this all-star officiating crew.
Nice job by Pam to be unfazed, too, as Terry was trying to talk over him. So we'll keep an eye on Maxwell. Meanwhile, the penalty, and now Carolina on the move again. That'll put him down to the 36 with 2:35 to go in the half, and all 3 timeouts for both teams. It's a run. Newton didn't have anywhere to go. Was only going to gain a yard before Bennett stopped him, and that may take us down to the 2-minute warning.
Kevin, you see the offensive line for the Carolina Panthers, I think, playing very well in the run and pass. But one thing that really takes a chill off this vaunted pass rush for the Seattle Seahawks is that ability to run for Cam Newton. They're calling design runs. That slows them down. And so just doing it, I think, is effective for the Carolina Panthers.
And we have hit the 2-minute warning in Seattle. Panthers on the move, trailing by 7. Jermaine Kearse the difference so far in this one. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Just go to itunes.com/NFL. The Seahawk is locked in. Look into those eyes. Good game. 14-7 Seattle. 2-minute warning. And Carolina on the move. 7th play of the drive. Newton has a lot of time. Going to sling it deep. Looking for Benjamin. He's got it. Is he in? No. Out of the end zone. What a catch by Benjamin, but he was out of the end zone.
Kelvin Benjamin saying, I'm going to keep coming. That's a nice ball by Cam Newton. I think a smart shot. 1 foot down. There's that 2nd foot. Wow. Out of bounds. Good call by this officiating crew, who I think is having a real strong game. You know, my opinion, Kevin, you shouldn't have these all-star crews. Go with what brought you there. crews that have been cohesive and together all year, but these guys, led by Terry McCauley, are doing a fine job.
He's not afraid to challenge Sherman, is he? Despite the Sherman pick earlier. Third down, blitz coming. Newton can run if he wants it, and he will. Newton still going. Drop the football. It's loose. Who's going to get it? Far side. And I don't know if it went out or Carolina got it back. Far side from us. Let's watch.
The ball was fumbled forward out of bounds and will be returned to the spot of the fumble. Fourth down.
Oh, that's huge. And what a hustle play by O'Brien Schofield, who's going to tomahawk that ball out of Cam Newton. Hand, he's going for the first down. The ball fumbled forward by Rule. It goes back to the point of the fumble, which sets up a fourth down for the Carolina Panthers.
And the coach who goes for it the most on fourth down. Carolina 6 of 10 on fourth down this year, third in the league, and they're going again.
I asked him about that the other day. I said, Ron, I know you like going for it on fourth down. Playoffs, will you? He said, at the right time, I won't hesitate.
They may take a timeout here and let this one tick on down. Certainly looks like that's what's going to happen. And so Rivera will call his first timeout of the half. And a big decision. We'll see if he stays with it or if he just tried to waste some time and now will kick a field goal. He's the baddest, the brashest, and the most talked about fighter in the UFC today. The notorious Conor McGregor looks to continue his rise to superstardom. He enters the octagon against the dangerous Dennis Seaver. And you can see it live next Sunday at 10 Eastern. It's only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Pete Carroll for the Seahawks has done an amazing job. So has Ron Rivera, who had his first playoff win last week.
These coaches and their leadership's been tremendous. I like that by Ron Rivera. I like going for it because I think you got to be bold in the playoffs, especially at Seattle. But I also like running that clock down in case you don't get it. You give them less time with the football.
4th and 1. And now we get a stoppage of play as Seattle looks at the formation and they call their first timeout. More discussion and a big play here in this first half.
It's like the NBA, Kevin, where they take a look at what they're showing them and timeout, go right, draw it up on the grease board.
Well, we've got the Visa halftime show coming up. What's happening on that show? Why don't we check in with Kurt Menefee?
Coming up on the Visa halftime, our guys will break down the first half between Cam's Panthers and Russell's Seahawks. Plus, we'll have all the action from a big day in Foxborough, and our own Peter Schrager caught up with Rob Gronkowski afterwards. All that and more coming up on the Visa halftime.
Kurt, thanks. Here we go. 4th and 1. Minute 2 to go in the half. Carolina in the shotgun. But they're going to run it anyway, and Newton diving forward, and it's going to be close, but I think he's got it. I couldn't believe they went into a shotgun on that play, but it may have worked.
Well, that's why, because with that quarterback power, you have numbers. You have a hat on everybody, and you have Cam Newton. Kevin, you got that defensive end playing quarterback who can fall forward and always does. Great job by Cam Newton falling forward. I think they've got it.
Yeah, and even he jumped and then landed with McDaniel and Wagner and kept churning the legs. They'll measure here, but live action on the video, I'd be stunned if he doesn't have enough. Let's see. He's got it. Well, maybe not.
Patience is a virtue, Kevin.
I'm a little excited, John. What do you want me to tell you? Playoffs, you know? Exciting atmosphere, and he does indeed have it by half the length of the football. And so 2 timeouts left for each team with 53 seconds to go in the half. This will be the 10th play of the drive for Carolina. D'Angelo Williams in the game at running back. Blitz coming. They're going to sling it to Williams on the screen. Cam Chancellor, what a play and a short gain.
Watch Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor right here. First of all, the recognition of the screen. He sees the lineman release, contains the football, then makes the tackle. Can't do it any better.
They
Cam
finally
Chancellor.
call a timeout, John. Carolina let 15 seconds go on the clock. Timeout on the field. Carolina made a mistake. Look at this play when the clock ends. It's at 35 seconds. Got to call a timeout there, right? Now watch as they wait and wait and wait and take it all the way down to 23 seconds for calling a timeout.
I'm with you, Kevin. That's 4 clock management. I'm talking about the replay because I made the assumption that they were calling a timeout. 4 clock management by the Panthers.
Blitz coming. Picked up initially. Newton throwing for Benjamin. Short. Intercepted. Earl Thomas has it. And he's down at the 2. What a big turn of events. So after they convert the 4th down and now a flag, a skirmish in the middle of the field. But Earl Thomas makes the play.
And most of all, that's a poor decision by Cam Newton. You've got to come out of that drive with at least 3 points. He stares down Kelvin Benjamin and Earl Thomas. All he's doing is playing free safety, playing center field, reading the eyes of Cam Newton. He attacks the football at his highest point.
Oh, I don't know if he got it, John.
That ball's loose. It can touch the ground provided he maintains control. That's going to be interesting on replay.
Can't tell there, but it.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, passing team number 70. Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting, intercepting team number 76. The penalty's offset. It'll be first down Seattle at the dead ball spot.
However, they will look at this upstairs. They do on every turnover, and I want to see a couple more replays of this. So do you think you have this, John?
Watch the ball. It touches the ground, and it can do that provided you have control. Is the ball loose there? That's going to be the decision that Dean Blandino and Terry McCauley have to make.
Can we show that last replay again? Here's what I want to show you. You have to maintain it through the end of the catch.
The previous play is under review.
We'll show you when we come back. I think at the very end it's questionable because his arms readjusted to the ball. We'll see. We'll look. Big call.
Yeah, hey, this is an incomplete pass. It's going to the ground now. He's got to hold on to the ball, but he actually bobbles it there. Then the tip of the ball hits the ground. He doesn't have the control. They'll reverse this to incomplete. Penalties will still offset. It'll be 3rd and 8.
You know, Mike just said the penalties will offset, and it's a really silly play on both parts, but that would have taken Carolina out of field goal range.
After review, the defender did not complete the catch. The ball hit the ground before he gained complete control. It is an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 8 on the 24-yard line. Please set the game clock to 18 seconds. The foul's still offset in the down counts.
Here's the bottom line. I think it's the right call. But Carolina just caught an enormous break. Enormous break.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. First of all, you can't stare down a receiver with Earl Thomas in the middle of the field. He'll make you pay. Carolina with, as you said, Kevin, just an enormous break right there.
So 18 seconds to go in the half. Carolina with a timeout and a 3rd and 8. A draw to Tolbert. And Tolbert for the big hit. He's going to come up shy of the first down. Cam Chancellor with the stop. That would have been a first. And now I'm presuming the final timeout will be called by Carolina and they'll try a field goal. And that's what will happen. He might have even scored if Chancellor didn't make that hit.
Watch this hit. This is 2 big men running into each other. And Cam Chancellor, so good, so powerful, knocking back Mike Tolbert. You're doing something. Cam Chancellor, just the tone setter for this Seattle defense.
So Chancellor with the big hit. Don't forget the Visa halftime show coming up. We'll have all the highlights of this one. A wild game in Foxborough between the Ravens and the Patriots. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy standing by. Here's Graham Gano trying to make it a 4-point game. 35-yarder. Up and good. But hang on. We get a penalty. Cam Chancellor jumped about 12 feet in the air. Almost blocked that thing.
That ball go through him? Watch Cam Chancellor. He comes, hurdles, and then I don't know how he misses it. That's legal. That's not leaping where you can't put your feet on the defenders. He does it. He clears them. It's incredible. Graham Gano got that football through the uprights.
Would have been the best field goal block in the history of the league.
Part of the snap. False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Only question is, John, how did he not block it?
It goes right to his right. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Great concentration by Gano.
Well, it wouldn't have counted. Regardless, it might have been offsides. Who knows? So maybe we'll try it again.
Let's see if Cam tries it again.
This will be a 40-yard field goal for Gano. He did. He gets back there and he blocks it. It's wide. Did he get a piece of it? Unbelievable. We get a penalty too.
Defense number 31. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So they're going to say that he ran into the kicker.
I don't know if he blocked it. He certainly affected it. I didn't see him run in. Let's see on replay. Here comes Cam Chancellor again over the top. That's a good sales job by Graham Gano. Such tremendous athleticism. And there's the running into the kicker. Terry McCauley called it. Unbelievable.
He's got to have the snap count, right? How else can you time it like that 2 times in a row? And so maybe we'll try it again.
3rd time's a charm. We'll see.
Back to a 35-yarder. This time Chancellor doesn't do it, and Gano puts it through. What a wild ending to this first half. And wait. Another flag down, far side of the field.
Offside. Defense number 27. Penalties decline. The field goal is good. That is the end of the first half.
Most eventful halftime field goal ever. But bottom line is Carolina draws to within 4 at the break. The Gano field goal is good, and it's 14-10 Seahawks at the half. Visa halftime show is coming your way. And that was today's excitement, brought to you again by Nissan. 14-10 Seahawks over the Panthers as we're about to start the 3rd quarter from Seattle. And good ball game, really good ball game. And we knew it was going to be physical, but I think one thing we didn't know is that Carolina was going to have the ball 9 minutes longer than Seattle in that first half.
Yeah, Carolina's got the right formula. This is how you beat the Seahawks. The problem, the 2 turnovers, and then the ball has been on the ground a couple other times. They've been fortunate not to lose it. You got to protect the ball, and then on defense, Carolina, you got to keep the ball in front of you. They're attacking this young secondary. Carolina, as you say, allow them to catch it, but you can't get behind us.
Russell Wilson with a big first half. Marshawn Lynch yet to get going for the Seahawks, but they'll have their chance as they will start it on their own 20 to start the 3rd quarter. Let's go to Mike Pereira now. Mike, on those crazy Cam Chancellor jumping over the center on the 2 field goals plays, can you take us through it?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's legal to jump over the line. That's not a problem. You can't get on the line and elevate and try to block the kick. But if you jump over, that's fine. And if you don't block the kick, you cannot run into the kicker. That's the key issue. So Chancellor jumps over, and Gano hits one of my drives like I hit him at the country club. He duck hooked it, and he didn't touch it, so therefore it was running into it.
Meanwhile, here's Marshawn Lynch, and Lynch is going to pick up about 4. He's yet to get going, John. I mean, he's got 9 carries for 25 yards now. It's Seahawks obviously still in front with the big play.
Yeah, but one thing you know with Darrell Bevel, the offensive coordinator, he won't go away from Marshawn. He won't go away from that run. They continuing to run it, and then the big play off of play action, the big play over the top. That's been the formula for Seattle of late. They're doing it very well today.
Jermaine Kearse, 2 catches, 96 yards, and of course the 63-yard touchdown. That's the difference. Seattle by 4. And it's 2nd and 7. Lynch bouncing off of people. Actually, it was Wilson. He fooled me too. I thought he gave it to Lynch, but Lynch kept going, and Wilson has it out across the 25. He lost this one. Lynch did lose it, and Wilson got it back. That's what happened. Yeah, there it is.
It's Wes Horton who strips that ball, and Russell's so aware to be around that ball. You know, both teams have put it on the ground. Both teams have been fortunate to land on it.
It's a wild play. I thought Lynch had it, and then I said, wait a second, how did Wilson get it? And now 3rd and 3. On the shotgun. Time over the middle. Through a seam, and he's got a completion. And he gets it to the rookie Richardson for a 1st down.
Watch this throw. This is an incredible throw. You got Luke Kuechly, one of the best in the league at reading quarterbacks' eyes, and watch how close Luke Kuechly comes to getting there. That's Luke Kuechly's hand going by. But Richardson, from the strike from Wilson, that's just a tremendous throw by Russell Wilson.
Paul Richardson, they've been waiting for him all year, 2nd-round draft pick, and he finally came alive. 13 catches the last 3 weeks of the regular season. 21-yard gain and a 1st down. To throw it again, and he's going to go deep again. Looking for the same man, and it's knocked down. Incomplete. And both guys are hurt. It was Ben Wickery who had terrific coverage. He and Richardson. Ben Wickery gets up, and Richardson writhing in pain.
And his emergence in this offense has been just huge. Started the season slow. Of late, he has really come on. This is what he was drafted to do. He is a burner. Paul Richardson down, and it doesn't look good for Paul Richardson at Seattle.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Nissan, innovation that excites. By Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of Super Bowl 49. And by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
A couple of injured players in the last play. Ben Wickery, the corner for Carolina, up and seems to be all right. Paul Richardson, not sure if he's all right. He was down for a long time.
But that's a great sight, him walking, because the initial reaction of his didn't look good at all. The way he grabbed that leg and, as you said, writhing in pain on the ground, I thought it'd be a lot worse, but it's a good sign that he's up and walking.
And as I was saying just before that play on the catch before, he's really come alive. They were waiting for him kind of all year to kind of join in the party. So he'll go to the sideline for now. And after all that, it'll be a 2nd and 10. Lynch meets Kuechly. And Lynch with a short game. Let's go down the sidelines with Pam Oliver.
Well, Kevin, talking to both coaches at halftime. First, Ron Rivera. Well, he bemoaned a couple of things about his team's first half performance. First of all, defensively, he said we can't give up those big plays over the top, and we have to play with more disciplined eyes. Offensively, the obvious. Too many missed opportunities. Pete Carroll, his wish list was short. We got to get that run game going and get off the field on 3rd down. To you.
All right, Pam, thanks very much. Meanwhile, for Carolina, Ben Wickery is in the game now, top of your screen, against Brian Walters on a 3rd down for Seattle. 4-man rush, stunt coming, and Wilson is drilled. Down he goes. It was Mario Addison on the sack, and Seattle will have to punt.
Well, they run a TE game, a tackle up the field, the end wraps in, and both offensive linemen go out this way. Here comes Addison in the middle. A good execution of that game by Mario Addison, and a good finish on Russell Wilson, who's tough to bring down.
And so a once promising drive by the Seahawks after the first sack of the day will now punt it away. Burson on a fair catch and does so out at the 13. Carolina football down by 4 early 3rd quarter in Seattle. Divisional playoffs continue Sunday. First on Fox, Cowboys, Packers, and then on CBS, it'll be the Colts and the Broncos. 14-10 Seahawks lead the Panthers early in the third quarter.
Now, Kevin, something we pointed out in the first half, and Byron Maxwell is not back in this game. Harold Simon's a good backup corner. He's a backup, though. I'd be attacking him. I think you put Kelvin Benjamin over there. You put Greg Olsen out there. Try to get him involved in the passing game, but I would attack number 27 on the defense for Seattle.
That's the matchup, bottom of your screen, right there. And here is a handoff. It's going to be a little flick to the far side of the field. That's not going to get anywhere. Kotchery was the guy who got it. They faked the handoff to Stewart. No gain.
And that play, that's the read option. So often we hear about read option. Well, it's typically a zone read. But when you add the zone read and you couple it with the pitch, the option, that's the read option. Cam Chancellor all over.
John, this is the fourth drive that Carolina has started inside their own 14-yard line. Second and 10. And a good run. Hurdling tackler Stewart out to the 18.
I think Jonathan Stewart, you could see on that run, he got the memo. You can't run sideways against the Seattle defense. Downhill, he did a nice job of it, churning those legs for positive yards, setting up the 3rd and 4.
Carolina has a good success on third down today. They're 6 of 11. This will be a 3rd and 4. Blitz coming. Newton hangs in near side, completes, and he's got Benjamin for a first down.
And there's that matchup, Kevin. Harold Simon on Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin's a rookie, but you have to attack this. He's not accustomed to playing. Cam Newton with a strike to Kelvin Benjamin. I'd set him up there, and then I'd go up top on him.
And he's thrown to Benjamin 4 times for 20 yards, but a first down. Hangs in, fires. Olsen's got a first down. First catch of the day for Greg Olsen, who went over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career on the season. He's up to the 42.
And look who they went after again, Harold Simon. They're seeing the same thing we're seeing. Greg Olsen now on Harold Simon. Cam Newton, I think, wise to attack. And they finally get Greg Olsen involved in the passing game.
It's an 18-yard gain to Olsen. A Pro Bowler for the first time in his career. Play clock at 3. Newton going to keep. He'll sling it to Kotchery. That same play they just ran a couple plays ago. And Kotchery is going to have a short game. We'll give him 3.
That's using the whole field, both horizontally and vertically. We see it from the Oregon Ducks. The zone read. Cam Newton was going to run it. They defend it. He throws it out to Kotchery and gets 3 yards on a positive gain.
What do you think that Pete's doing there? Is he alerting them to watch the line of scrimmage with that?
I think that's exactly what he was doing.
Second and 7. That's Kotchery in motion. Back to pass. And he's going to get it off to Dixon, the backup tight end, and room to run for Ed Dixon. Finally knocked down by Wagner, but all the way down to the 41. It's a gain of 14.
You know, I tell you what, I really like the way Cam Newton is playing right now, showing tremendous patience, going through his progression, setting his feet, throwing a strike to Dixon. Take the check down, then let your players work. He wants it downfield. It's not there. Throw an accurate ball out to Dixon and get positive yards.
It's another first down for Carolina. They've got 14 first downs to just 7 for Seattle. And it's getting louder in here. Back to throw, in trouble. Averill coming from behind, and he takes him down.
Cam Newton wanted to go after Harold Simon again. The problem is they have Brenton Burson. They should have Kelvin Benjamin, because watch, he bumps him up. Cam Newton doesn't have anyone to throw to. You put Kelvin Benjamin over there, you don't put Burson. That's exactly where Cam Newton wants to go. Cliff Averill brings him down.
And the Seahawks have their first sack of the game. 8-yard loss, 2nd and 18. One thing about Simon, though, he's big. He's almost 6'4".
And he's long.
Pressure. Newton steps up and now fires. And that was 30 yards over Greg Olsen's head. Just couldn't get the feet set. He could have run if he wanted that one, and now 3rd down 18.
Well, Cam Newton tried to do a Russell Wilson. Cam is more prone. When he decides to run, he typically runs. He tried to do like Russell Wilson, keeping his eyes downfield. His feet were never set, and the ball sailed on him.
Mike Tolbert in the game in the backfield. 3rd and 18. Newton. A lot of time, and it's incomplete. Behind Philly Brown. And Carolina, after a good-looking drive, will have to punt. Good stand by Seattle.
I'll tell you what, even on 3rd and 18, the thing I continue to be impressed with, this offensive line. They gave him plenty of time on that 3rd down. They have throughout the game. They're run blocking well. Carolina's got a good groove going. Protect the football. Now they got to continue to stop Seattle on defense.
And Nortman will punt it away. Brian Walters waiting inside his own 10. Fair catch called for, and he's got it. Out at the 12. Seattle's defense makes a stand, and they'll send their quarterback Russell Wilson onto the field. It's a 4-point lead for the Seahawks. Seahawks are the #1 rushing team in the NFL, and this is why Carolina's in the game.
Well, they're doing a tremendous job. Watch Luke Kuechly. This is from the last series. Using his hands and then bringing down Marshawn Lynch. They're tackling extremely well. They're controlling the line of scrimmage.
A fake the run here. Wilson. Gonna scramble. Looking downfield. He's going to take off. Wilson. Good move. Still going. And Russell Wilson showing you the moves. And a 1st down.
Hey, Kevin, yesterday you asked Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, what's the key? Do you have to keep Russell in the pocket? He said, absolutely. We got to keep him in the pocket. I wrote on my paper, easy to say, hard to do, because he is the greatest improviser in football at the quarterback position. He's a magician back there. He gives ground to gain ground. There's a perfect example of it.
That 14-yard run is the longest run of the game for Seattle. Wilson ran for 849 yards this year, a career high. On 1st down, pressure coming. They throw far side. It's incomplete. He was looking for Helfet, the tight end, but good coverage by Colin Jones. You can watch every NFL playoff game at Super Bowl 49 live on your smartphone with NFL Mobile.
Kevin, the thing I really love about this Seattle offense, I think great offenses have answers for whatever you throw at them. They're struggling to run the ball. They'll stay committed. But instead, now you say, you know what, Russell? You go do what you do. Go make things happen. You've seen them go over the top. They'll stay with the run game. But now it's Russell Wilson, if they're struggling, who has to take over for this offense.
And someone moved. Whistle blows.
Encroachment. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
We'll find out who will take home this year's most prestigious awards, hosted by Seth Meyers. A 2-hour event the night before the Super Bowl NFL Honors. Cam Newton checking out things on the tablet. 2nd and 5 for the Seahawks coming up. Robert Turbin in the game in the backfield. Give it to him. Turbin fighting forward, and he's going to be about a yard shy of a 1st down. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1. Charles Johnson and Kuechly in on the stop.
You know, and interesting. Marshawn Lynch, as I said, the heart and soul of this team. He's struggling to get going. Not a bad idea to put Turbin in. Turbin, a more north and south runner. And he goes and gets positive yards.
And so a 3rd and 1. Then Wickery lost a shoe. Wilson on the fake. A boot, and Wilson's got it for a first down. Wilson to Wilson connection, and it moves the chains for Seattle.
You know, Charles Johnson, he can't play it any better. Charles Johnson just goes up to Russell Wilson and says, heck of a job. Because Russell Wilson, we all hear about his height, but he finds a way to get it done. Look at this touch. Over Charles Johnson, right into Luke Wilson's hands. It's what makes Russell Wilson so special. He finds a way to get it done. Over people, around people, through people. The guy's unbelievable, Kevin.
Playing well here tonight. Here's Marshawn Lynch. Best run of the day. Marshawn Lynch. Still going. Inside the 20 for Marshawn Lynch. Look at the Seahawks sideline right now.
I think they actually marked him back at about the 34-yard line, saying he stepped out of bounds. But what a run. I told you they'd stay committed, and it's just a matter of time before Marshawn Lynch gets going. Wow, there it is, that toe just out of bounds.
25-yard run for Lynch. And it wakes Seattle up offensively. Wilson on the keeper's going to slide down. Not much there. It is amazing the electricity that he gives this team. It really is. They feed off him like no other running back in the league.
I want you to watch Roman Harper. This is what it's like trying to tackle Russell Wilson. Talk about getting on your heels. He almost falls over. A good job of staying with it. But Russell Wilson, Roman Harper says, nice try, buddy, but unbelievable competition going on out here.
Lynch out of the game. Robert Turbin in the game on a 2nd and 6. On the fake, Wilson going for it all. For Curse! Incomplete. Good coverage by Josh Norman, who was there. And we get a penalty flag down around the 16.
It's going to be a holding on the defense.
Part of the pass, holding, defense number 41. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's on Roman Harper.
Roman Harper's working against Luke Wilson. A little bit of a hold there. I don't know. Certainly illegal contact, but you know, Kevin, the other day he said, Russell Wilson, Josh Norman, he's my buddy. We met at IMG, but I'm going after him. he's a mercenary.
He wasn't kidding.
You might be my buddy, but I'm going after you. He took a shot at Josh Norman right there.
Turbin has it. Good run for Robert Turbin down to the 20. And, you know, we said coming into this drive, John, the Seahawks run game had been shut down. They had only 29 yards. Well, now they've got 51 yards on this drive on the ground.
Yeah, you know how I said they always have an answer. The answer on this drive, forget about the zone read. Let's go back under center and run this football traditionally downhill. That's how Marshawn had his big run. That's how Turbin just had big yards right there.
This game is so eerily similar to every other game these two teams have played the last 3 years, isn't it? So many characteristics. 8th play of the drive. Wilson keeps. Gets by one man. And he's got a first sliding down alertly inside the 15.
Here's the zone read. He's reading Mario Addison right here. Madison crashes down. Russell says, okay, I'm going to keep it. He's got a beat right now. Now the block by Cooper Helfel. And Russell Wilson acting like the magician he is out there, throwing it, running it, doing everything for the Seattle Seahawks.
And the Seahawks have got the big plays today, but this is their best drive of the day. 9th play from the 14. Turbin. Thomas Davis wraps him up for a short game. I think about Russell Wilson meeting with us the other day, John, and said, you know, if you could wrap your mind that every game is a championship opportunity, It's a lot of fun. Sounds easy.
He's unbelievable. You go in there, he's a young man, but it's as if he's just got life and football figured out. He talks about visualization, how he did it from a young kid. He's played the game before he ever gets on the field. His dad taught him that, using examples of Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, and Derek Jeter. And again, it manifests itself on the field. Everything he tells us.
44 seconds left in the third. They give it again. Marshawn Lynch knocking people over. Still going. And Marshawn Lynch is down inside the 7.
If I'm Carolina, if I'm in that huddle, I'm saying bring your feet, because when you start arm tackling Marshawn Lynch, this is what he does to you. You have to bring your feet. Wes Horton hits and stops his feet. You got to continue to bring your feet when you're tackling a back like Marshawn Lynch.
Injury on the field to Colin Cole. We've got a timeout. We'll be back. Skittles are waving in Seattle. 3rd down and 3. From the 7. Wilson, pressure, in trouble. Down he goes. Ball comes loose, but they say he was down. And Carolina brought the pressure with Thomas Davis.
And it takes a special player to bring down Russell Wilson, and Thomas Davis just does the right knee down. Good call by Terry McAuley.
That'll take us to the end of the 4th quarter. Big play by Davis. Seattle has a field goal opportunity when we come up 14-10 in the playoffs. And here today we have some of those young athletes. Please direct your attention to the south end zone to recognize the 10 national champions of the 2014-2015 NFL punt, pass, and kick program. Also here today is a local NFL flag team representing the more than 250,000 athletes playing NFL flag. Later this month, the season will culminate with the NFL Flag Championships at the Super Bowl in Arizona. The NFL and USA Football are committed to providing opportunities for kids to experience the fun of football through programs like Heads Up Football, NFL Punt, Pass, and Kick, and NFL Flag. To sign up for NFL Flag today, visit NFLflag.com. Good job by those young kids here on the field. What a thrill to be on the field in Seattle. You ever do that, John?
I did not, but our colleague Troy Aikman, he's in Green Bay right now. I texted him at halftime. I said, Troy, John Lynch here. Did you win a punt, pass, and kick as a kid? He said, didn't win it, but I did take part. I think the guy that won lied about his age.
Unbelievable. So here we go. Hauschka trying to put the Seahawks up by 7 to start the 4th. 37-yard attempt and nearly blocked, but he gets it off, and it's up and through. And so the Seahawks up their lead to start the 4th quarter. 17-10 Seattle. 17-10 Seahawks over the Panthers. And this is the difference why Seattle's a championship team. First team in history to win the last 6 games without allowing a 4th quarter point.
That's why that man, Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, along with his great players. But Dan Quinn up for a lot of head coaching jobs. He's very deserving. He's done an excellent job. Tremendous leadership and coaching by Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator of the Seahawks.
Well, it was a 12-play drive by Seattle, but the sack by Davis held them to a field goal. 7-point game. Carolina, that one goes in the end zone, and Carolina will take over on their own 20. Almost got it, Josh Norman, but it's Seattle by 7. Close game here, early 4th quarter. 15 NFL Pro Bowl fantasy football for real. Hall of Famers Michael Irvin, Chris Carter selecting teams of the Pro Bowl draft January 21st, and watch the Pro Bowl live from the University of Phoenix Stadium, home of the Super Bowl, on Sunday, January 25th. NFL.com/Pro Bowl to learn more. Meanwhile, we had a great game. 4th quarter just started. 17-10 Seahawks over the Panthers, and it's Carolina football at their own 20. Newton over the middle. He's got Olsen, who makes the grab. Right around the 1st down. We got a flag, too, behind the line of scrimmage.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense number 74. 2-yard penalty. 1st down.
They're going to call Mike Rimmers on the hands to the face. He's working against O'Brien Schofield. There it is, right at the end. You continued to climb off the shoulder pad to the face. Good call by Terry McCauley, and it backs the Carolina Panthers up further.
Daunting shot of Cam Newton backed up near his own end zone. 1st and 20. And Stewart still fighting, still going. What a run by Jonathan Stewart. Looked like he didn't have much there, but he ends up picking up 7. You know, John, I go back to Sean McDermott conversation. We'll look at the replay first.
Watch the legs churning, Kevin. I saw exactly what you saw. It looked like he was down, but he refused to go down, using his hands, churning those legs. Jonathan Stewart, one heck of a football player.
You always ask the coaches what they believe the key to the game is, and you asked McDermott that yesterday.
You know, I said, you've had all these close games. How do you take it over the hump? It's real simple. We got to believe. We got to believe we can. Well, here they are. They better believe right now, right here.
Down 7 in the 4th. In trouble is Newton. Slips away, and he's going to tuck it and run, and now slide down to the 20, and we got a flag. You rarely see Newton slide. He usually is a head-first dive guy, and he does it there, and now he's going to get a 15-yard penalty because he slid. Penalty for his team, I should say.
Now we have a conference going on.
Maybe not.
We've seen this before.
Unnecessary roughness. 3rd down.
So they confer, and they decide that was not a penalty. We'll let you decide.
Cam Newton slide. Now, I think a good pickup. The only thing you could have called is that right hand of O'Brien Schofield to the helmet of Cam Newton.
I agree with the call. You can't call that there, though. I'm with you. 3rd down, 11.
Not quite as controversial as the flag that was picked up last week, huh?
Slightly less controversial. Back to throw. Pressure. Steps away. Newton. Tolbert dropped it. He put it on his hands. Mike Tolbert, he couldn't hang on, and Carolina will punt it away.
You know, Cam Newton just did an outstanding job working that pocket, sliding, finding the hole, buying time, and then he delivers a strike to Mike Tolbert. And this is a ball you want to believe this, or beat the Seattle Seahawks. You better believe, and you better catch the football. That's a 1st down. If he catches it, you can't let those opportunities go against a team like this.
The Seahawks have blocked 4 punts the last 3 years. Got to pay attention to that here. Plenty of time for Norton. Gets it away. High kick. Walters makes a move, and a good return, and great field position for Seattle. Up by 7. 12:53 to go. A chance to take control of the game, much of the dejection of Cam Newton.
This game is sponsored by McDonald's, a proud sponsor of the NFL, and love it.
John, we haven't had a repeat champion in the NFL in a long time since the 03-04 season with the Patriots winning. 8 teams have done it. Steelers did it twice in the late 70s under Chuck Noll. Only 5 teams have made the playoffs the year following a Super Bowl since 05, which is hard to believe. Even harder to believe, no team has won a playoff game since 2005 after they won the Super Bowl.
Hard to
Seattle
do.
Trying to do that.
Hard to do. I lived it. We failed miserably in Tampa, and I thought we were well poised. And again, I go back to what I said in the open. I really credit that man, Pete Carroll, for his leadership, steadying this team after a 3-3 start. And they look like a championship football team right now.
Robert Turbin in the game for Lynch, gets the carry and gets smacked. Coney Ely, the rookie from Missouri, 2nd-round pick, makes the tackle. So critical time. Seahawks up by 7 with 12:41 to go. And now Lynch will come back in the game. Well, Marshawn Lynch, we saw him on the sideline. It didn't look too pretty during that commercial break.
He needed some Skittles. he lost his lunch, as they like to say.
Well, the old story goes that his mom used to give him those Skittles when he was a kid because he used to get nauseous while playing. That's why you see the fans carrying around the Skittles here. 2nd down, blitz coming. They set up a screen, and he's got room. Here's Lynch, and that is pretty good stuff by Carolina because that looked like he was going to go for 30, and instead it goes for 5.
Well, that's what happens when you have Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly. Watch it. It looks like there's a lot of yards And here comes a flash, and his name's Thomas Davis. Out of nowhere. Incredible play. Here's Thomas Davis in the middle. Watch him recognize, and then look at the speed. This is a guy who tore his ACL 3 times. He's back, and he's better than ever.
Big 3rd and 6. Four-man rush. Time for Wilson. Fires. Complete. Luke Wilson breaks free. Luke Wilson still going down to the 25. It's a 29-yard gain to Luke Wilson as the crowd chants Luke.
Well, first of all, an excellent throw in a tight window by Russell Wilson. It's all about anticipation. If you throw on time, good things happen. Luke Wilson with a great effort busting out of the tackles. The Seahawks driving.
Injury timeouts. 17-10 Seahawks lead the Panthers. Just converted a big 3rd down. Aerial coverage provided tonight by Nationwide. So 1st and 10 from the 25. We have the connection from Wilson to Wilson. Wilson airing it out, looking for Lockett, end zone, incomplete. Melvin White, who just came in the game for Ben Wickery, who went off injured, makes the play.
You know, very perceptive by Russell Wilson. He's smart. Ben Wickery goes out. What do? You go attack the guy who's been standing on the sidelines all game. And Melvin White, you can't respond any better. Great play by Melvin White when his number was called.
More looks at that one. Crowd doesn't like it. It's Ben Wickery. He's been banged up today. Played a solid ball game. 2nd and 10. Lynch. Stutter step. Not much room. Tony Ely was there. And it looked like got there first. So now you're looking at a 3rd and 10. Seahawks have made big plays on 3rd down, John. Both of their touchdowns came on 3rd down. The one to Baldwin earlier, and then the 63-yard touchdown to Curse. And 3rd down passing. How about that for Russell Wilson?
His numbers any good?
Not bad.
Here, if you're Carolina, a sack would be absolutely huge. On the other side, Russell Wilson, you can't take a sack that would take you out of field goal range.
3rd and 10. Blitz coming. They get rid of it. It's Luke Wilson. 1st down and more. Touchdown! So we were saying about 3rd down, John.
He's 8 of 8 now.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And how about Luke Wilson? I mean, not only is he catching the ball, he's breaking tackles, he's scoring touchdowns. And Luke Wilson came into this game, not a whole lot of grabs, 22 on the year, but averaging 16.5 yards a catch. Look at the catch, and then the speed. He's a legitimate 4-5 tight end. Zach Miller out for the year. Luke Wilson says, it's all right, Russell. I've got this.
Russell Wilson has played a fantastic game. 14 of 21, 235 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions, 8 of 8 on 3rd down, 14-point lead, defending champs. They are tough and up by 2 touchdowns here in the divisional round on the Panthers in the 4th quarter.
The zone blitz. Mario Addison going to show up, then come out. That's a defensive lineman. You throw on time. The recognition by Russell Wilson, the timing, ball out. It allows Luke Wilson to use that speed. You can't execute any better. Russell Wilson showing mastery at the quarterback position. A young man looking for his 2nd world championship. He's making it look real easy out here today for the Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll.
What an atmosphere here in Seattle. I mean, it's as good as it gets. They've got a winning team, you know, walking around downtown yesterday. I'm telling you, 35 to 40% of people had on Seahawks jerseys just walking around downtown. It is just electric here. And, you know, trying to do something, as we showed you, that hasn't been done since the Patriots did it at the end of the 04 season. That's repeat. And it's been a hard-fought game, but that was a commanding drive with 2 big plays on 3rd down, and they're up 2 touchdowns now with 10.5 to go. We've got a great Pac-12 double dip lined up for you tomorrow, starting with Cal taking on UCLA. And then 7th-ranked Arizona squares off against Oregon State. All begins tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern. It's on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Now, Kevin, you remember that last drive? 3rd down. Cam does a great job of eluding. He puts a strike on Mike Tolbert.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you're playing against the Seahawks. You miss opportunities, they capitalize. Now you've got the Panthers down by 14. This is not their makeup to come from behind. Even tougher to do against the Seahawks in the 12th man.
From the 20. Newton in trouble and down he goes. It was Bruce Irvin delivering the sack.
That's why this offensive line, we've lauded them all day, but they are not set up to drop back pass. That's why they play action so much. Bruce Irvin coming off the edge. He's working on Byron Bell. The inside move and brings down Cam Newton. Cliff Averill says, nice job, Bruce Irvin.
And now you've got a defense that just smells blood. Second and 18, and the exchange to Stewart. And Stewart going to try to get near the 20, but he's going to be well shy. And you're going to look at long to gain here, 3rd and call it 12. That's exactly what Ron Rivera told us yesterday. The difference, now it's been more than that today. When they've played, Seattle has gotten the big plays. Carolina has not. They had to labor down the field the entire day today. They need 13. Newton stays in there, and he's got it to Dixon. Good patience by Newton as Averill whizzed by. And the Panthers pick up the 1st down.
Good patience, great pocket presence, and I think he's demonstrated it all day long, going through his progressions, hanging in there, holding it. It's tough to do against this defensive line. He does it. He works to his 3rd receiver in the progression. Ed Dixon, the tight end, 1st down.
Newton's going to try and run it. Not much there. Picks up maybe 2 on the play. And even though there's 8.5 minutes left, time is going to be a factor, John, because they just don't have the quick strike ability to get quick scores.
Absolutely, but the thing you always got to be leery of, Seattle's this defense propensity to take the ball away. So you've got to be aggressive, but also be cautious in the way. You can't just be careless because they will make you pay.
Second and 8. Blitz coming. Newton hangs in, complete. Benjamin at midfield, 1st down. So he picks up 12 and again moves the chains.
And Pete Carroll doesn't like giving up any throws, but this is one he'll take, because right now it's about keeping the ball in front of you, making them earn everything they get. But I really believe, we said it earlier, Cam Newton would be wise to continue to target Harold Simon, the backup corner. Kelvin Benjamin on him up top.
On 1st down. He's going deep for Olsen. He makes the catch. Greg Olsen hauls it in, and he's inside the 20.
Well, this route, it's called Sluggo seam. He fakes the slant. Sluggo for slant and go, and then goes to the seam here. Cam's eyes to the left. Manipulates Earl Thomas, the safety, beautifully, and throws a strike to Greg Olsen, who knows the hit's coming and shows the toughness to hang in there for the catch.
Under 7 to play. Big catch for Olsen and a 1st down at the 19. Newton on the keeper, makes a move to the outside, stiff arm, and he's inside the 15. Looks like he shoved his own player 5 yards out of the way.
That's what I was going to say. He stiff-armed 2 guys here. Greg Olsen, don't stand in my way. Get out of the way. There goes Greg Olsen. Now here comes Earl Thomas. You get out of the way too, Earl. Cam Newton, a very strong man.
Wow. And he picked up 6. 2nd and 4. Again time. Near side, intercepted! It's intercepted by Chancellor! Touchdown! 89 yards!
Kevin, I know it's hard to do, but this team sure likes it. Looks like a team to me that has the capability of doing it. And Cam Newton is saying, what just happened? Well, what happened? We've shown you how Russell Wilson throwing on time. Cam Newton just threw it late, and the other Cam Chancellor, took advantage of it. He's hanging back, reading the eyes, and there he goes. Cam Chancellor, I don't think anybody in this league has played better at the safety position this year. With all due respect to his safety mate, Earl Thomas, he's a game-changing player for this defense.
Hauschka's extra point up and good, and they are rocking and rolling in Seattle. Cam against Cam. Chancellor wins it. Seahawks in control. This Seahawk team is just so tough, and you see Cam just upset. He had a good drive going, but the other Cam Chancellor, second team All-Pro, probably should have been first. They officially mark it as a 90-yard interception return. Literally the press box was shaken as he was running that thing in.
He's doing everything. He's hitting people. He's setting the tone there. He's leaping tall buildings to block field goals. He's
right.
Intercepting passes. Cam Chancellor playing unbelievable defensive football.
Ozzie Whitaker will take it out for Carolina, and he is going to be stopped around the 16-yard line. 47 years ago, 1967 in Green Bay, the Ice Bowl. Where was the Packers and the Cowboys? Couldn't be any colder. Late in the game, it was Bart Starr dialing up the sneak, and he's going to get in, and the Packers won it 21-17. Would you believe the Cowboys haven't met the Packers in the playoffs in Green Bay since until tomorrow on Fox?
Is that going to be any good?
Probably not.
Unbelievable. Joe and Troy and Aaron Andrews there in Green Bay. I'll be tuning in. I think a lot of other people will be as well.
Stewart. Good run for Stewart. First down across the 30 as Sherman tries to rip the ball out as we're 5:39 to go in this game.
Kevin, we just promoted the Ice Bowl. With Dallas and Green Bay are sitting there, and they've got business to handle tomorrow.
Yeah.
But those teams also are watching this game, and they know they got to come here. And I'm telling you, it is going to take a monumental effort to beat this Seattle team. I think Carolina's played one heck of a game. It's not good enough against these guys. These guys are primed and ready to make a run.
I would agree. I mean, you look at the score, you'd never know it. I mean, Cam Newton's played a good game too, but Seattle, so good. Olsen makes the catch, shoved out by Wright. We went into the year thinking that, you know, the word dynasty was thrown around, and you just haven't had that word in a long time in the league. But Seattle, the way they started, you talked about it. They were 3-3 to start. They weren't playing great. They were playing okay. Super Bowl ahead. And after that Kansas City loss, for some reason, it all came together. And now they're on fire. Newton to throw it. Going to go deep to Country, and that one is almost intercepted. It was Earl Thomas who came in and knocked it away.
So you got Russell Wilson doing his thing and Marshawn Lynch on the other side of the ball. On defense, these guys come from everywhere. We just saw Cam Chancellor. Now Earl Thomas says, whoa, 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 I'm still here. And Earl Thomas, they just come at you from every angle. They're so fast. They're so quick. They're so polished. They're so smart. They're doing it and doing it very well. And I love how they built this team. Pete Carroll and John Schneider, there's a prototype for every position. Tall guys outside, long guys inside. There's the passing lanes just aren't there.
3rd down and 5. Just get the play off. Newton over the middle. Benjamin's got it and room to run. And Chancellor makes the tackle at the 34. And so the Panthers move the chains with 4.5 to play.
Well, there's one thing that's for sure. Kelvin Benjamin has an extremely bright future ahead of him. Became the #1 receiver when they needed him to for the Carolina Panthers. And he and Cam Newton are going to be connecting for a long time to come for the Carolina Panthers.
Timeout on the field. Seattle called that they had a personnel issue, and so they called their first timeout. So here is Ice Bowl 2. Cowboys' first postseason game in Green Bay since '67, 47 years. Aaron Rodgers, that's 25 touchdowns, no interceptions at home, no big deal. Playing with an injured calf, mind you. And it's interesting because the first time in the playoffs you've got an undefeated home team against an undefeated road team. Cowboys 8-0 on the road, so that one should be exciting for sure. And as you said, the winner's got to come here. And boy, this team, it's crazy, John, because you talked about it. They were 3-3. They had that team meeting, and things turned around. But heck, they might be better this year than they were last year.
I agree, and I thought that wouldn't be the case to start the year because they lost a lot of their depth. But Russell Wilson, the way he's playing, the way this defense is flying around, and the leadership that Pete Carroll has demonstrated this season, steadying them through some rough times, it's just been excellent, superb. And like I said, I see a team primed to make another run at a Super Bowl.
And we've got a flag. Well,
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. First down.
after that Kansas City loss, there was a team meeting. Pete Carroll had about 12 of his veterans. And he said, you're playing together, but you're not playing for each other.
And he went on to say it's really about how you support the guys around you. We had to return to that mentality. We had lost it, and we had to get it back. I'd say they have.
They also got healthy. Wagner was out for a little bit. Chancellor had a groin issue. He missed a couple games. Newton over the middle, Greg Olsen, and he gets decked. That's Wagner making the tackle.
You talk about getting healthy. That's the guy that when you talk to the Seattle Seahawks will tell you, and if you turn on the film, he ties it all together, Kevin. He came back. A lot of other things happened, but he's the focal point. He's the signal caller. He's the quarterback of that defense, and they've been on fire since Bobby Wagner returned from injury.
There's Fozzie Whitaker, and he is tripped up right around the first down marker. You know, Wagner, we met with him yesterday, and he said his mom didn't really want him to play football when he was younger. And so finally, when we got to be about a sophomore in high school, he played football just to kind of train to get in shape for basketball, which was his sport. There was a reason why, wasn't there? There was a reason why he didn't play football at a high level early.
I loved it when he said he had never played football. They told him to blitz the B gap, and he said, "What's that?"
Well, guess what? He knows what it is now. On a first down, he just did it there, and a completion to Kotchery. And Kotchery is going to be inside the 15-yard line. What is the B gap, John?
Well, that's the B gap. Let's see where Bobby comes. That's the A gap, but he knows A and B. He knows all those things, and he knows them well.
Under 3 minutes to go. Carolina still fighting, 2nd and 1. Going to heave towards Benjamin in the end zone, and he's got it. Great catch as he in. Touchdown.
And Kevin, I think the only failing for Carolina is not doing that more. We identified early on Byron Maxwell was out, Thorold Simon, but you needed to have Kelvin Benjamin over there, and you needed to go up top. And that's the one thing they waited to do. They've attacked them with underneath routes. They should have been going up top, because here's what can happen when you have a #1 receiver against a backup corner.
And they'll look at this to make sure he was in, but you see there, he is for sure in. So Benjamin has the touchdown. And now they'll try the extra point. Make it a 14-point deficit. Kick is up and good. 2:34 to go. 31-17. Seattle in front. I think it's worth mentioning here is, barring some miracle, Carolina's season's going to come to an end. All that's happened to this team this year, John. I think Ron Rivera deserves an awful lot of credit. And I know you could say the NFC South was a down division, whatever you want to say. He did a great job.
Oh, he's done an incredible job. You know, I asked a lot of people on the Carolina Panthers in our production meeting about his leadership, and Mike Shula, I think, encompassed it best. He never wavered. He was always positive. He allows us, he doesn't micromanage, he allows us to do his job. But when they were 3-8-1, he kept telling them, look, no one's taking control of our division. If we just keep plodding and keep getting better. They made some tough changes, inserted some youth in the lineup, and they made a heck of a run. They just ran into the Seattle Seahawks. But Ron Rivera, he is one tremendous leader. There's Jerry Richardson, the owner and founder of the Carolina Panthers. He's found himself a tremendous head coach in Ron Rivera.
And, you know, I mean, all the things that they had to deal with this year. How about for Rivera this week? His house is on fire. It's Monday. It's 3 in the morning, and his wife wakes up and smells smoke. And luckily, they get everybody out of the house. And what, over 50 firefighters come. It was a big deal. He's relocated. His family's relocated. Play through that as the Panthers now will attempt an onside kick. Lines it up. It's a good second bounce, but Curse has it for the Seahawks, and they'll take over. And so Seattle ball with 2:34 to go, up 31-17. I think just to finish the thought on Rivera, doing all that and getting this team to the playoffs, you know, they need some weapons next year to make their offense a little bit more potent, I think.
Yeah, I think that was their only failing this offseason. I understand Steve Smith was getting older, but when you're trying to build around a young franchise quarterback, you don't take all his receivers from him. I mean, Kelvin Benjamin panned out to be a number one, but that doesn't always happen. They got lucky there. Not lucky because they picked a good player, but you need to surround him with some more weapons.
Seattle trying to run out the clock. It's Robert Turbin with the football. He's up across the 45. And Carolina looking to take a timeout, and they will. So they've got 2 left. And the 2-minute warning. One more time tomorrow in Lambeau. 47 years ago, the last time the Cowboys met the Packers in the Ice Bowl. Vince Lombardi's crew came out on top. Who will come out on top tomorrow? Here's who you're going to see. Des Bryant and Tony Romo and Eddie Lacy and Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers dealing with that calf injury and a tear in that calf. Temperature is going to be about 12 to 15 degrees. Joe Buck will have the call, and Jack Buck, his father, called it 47 years ago. I mean, how cool is that?
That's pretty special. That is really, really cool. You got 2 MVP candidate quarterbacks going at it, 2 tremendous teams. That'd be great action.
So Turbin gets it still going, and a first down for Robert Turbin. Oh, that is one thing they cannot have happen. Max Unger finally back. He's missed 10 games this year, the starting center, and now in the waning moments with the game nearly over.
And when you've had a bad ankle, the last thing you need, there he is, the center, is someone to roll up on that ankle, and that's exactly what happens. Colin Cole, his old teammate in Seattle, just crashes down on that ankle. It looks as if Unger's all right, but boy, that would be a tremendous loss.
That could have been a lot worse if his foot was planted in the ground.
Kevin, you take a look at this. I mean, I said at the start of the game, they're a touchdown better. I wasn't lying. They're a touchdown better with Max Unger. They rush the ball better. They don't get sacked as much. He's a difference maker. You say how at the center position? Well, the center does a lot in terms of communication, and then on top of it, he's an all-pro player. He's a tremendous player.
Patrick Lewis had started the last 5 games, number 65, so he's in there now. Turbin outside, tripped up by Ely. He's going to lose yardage, but obviously Unger is going to be a storyline this week. Today's game being produced by Pete Macheska, directed by Artie Kempner, the associate director Eric Mandia, broadcast associate is Tyler Dare, our technical producer Clyde Taylor, technical director Tom Maslak. Pre-game show produced by Bill Richards and directed by Stephanie Medina. Our outstanding technical crew, I can tell you, our second year working with them all together, John, and we're lucky to have them with us.
It takes a great team, and we certainly have one, and we appreciate the great work all of them do.
2:12 to go. 2nd and 16 after the loss in the last run. Wilson to throw. He's got a man open. It's Kearse. Why not? Jermaine Kearse inside the 15. That puts him up and over 100 yards on the day.
Russell Wilson, I tell you, quarterbacks have had better numbers in games we've done this year, but he is playing at a tremendously high level. Russell Wilson. Another strike to Jermaine Kearse in Seattle.
The Seahawks feeling good. The defending champs playing every bit the parts of the Super Bowl winner, and they have had a tough game today. The score may not reflect it in the end. 31-17 up on the Panthers. 2 minutes to go here in Seattle, and they will host the NFC Championship game next weekend. And poised to win their 7th straight, and they'll take on the winner of Green Bay and Dallas tomorrow on Fox. Victory formation. And before we go, I want to say, John Lynch, for me, how fortunate I am to work with you. My second year working with you together, it's a blast. You're tremendous, and congratulations, a finalist for the Hall of Fame. You and Jimmy Johnson back in the studio, and my man, not just because I love you, but you deserve it. You should get in, so congrats on that.
Well, thank you, Kevin. It's a tremendous honor just to be mentioned with the guys that are in that finalist list. And to Jimmy Johnson, I wish you the best. I think that's a no-brainer to me, but I think all these guys are so great, and thank you for acknowledging that. And I'm very proud of just being in that final 15.
Seahawks will take a knee and probably do it one more time before this one becomes officially in the books. First Super Bowl champ to win a playoff game since the Patriots in 05. Been a long time, but this team is going on all cylinders right now. Russell Wilson, a monster game. 15 of 22, 268 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Kevin, I don't care who comes in here next week for that championship game. There's no margin for error against this team. You have got to be on point. You got to take advantage of opportunities. When you miss them, they're too good. They take advantage of that.
And they did here today. 8 straight playoff wins at home for Seattle. Russell Wilson, brilliant. Simply brilliant. 3rd down, huge. He did it all today as the Seahawks team wins it 31-17 in the divisional round over Carolina. Coming up after our game, stay tuned. The State Farm postgame show. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. That one is coming up in just a few. We'll come back and finish it up here in Seattle first. Once again, the Seahawks advance to the championship game 31-17. They've taken over the Panthers. They did it with defense. They did it with turnovers. And the run game got going. Russell Wilson was the man all day long. And the Seahawks one more one away from going back to the Super Bowl.